time is nearly up. So beginning tomorrow, the Transportation Security Administration will start enforcing the long-awaited federal ID requirements. And that means the real ID is a very real thing if you want to travel. The law was put into place nearly 2 decades ago, but implementing it has been met with repeated delays. But that's all over tomorrow. So let's bring in our guest. We went straight to the top to dispel any of the rumors associated with the real ID. Joining us live now is the acting deputy administrator of the TSA, Adam Stahl. Deputy Stahl, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's just talk about what exactly the real ID is, because I feel like there are still folks out there, even though we've been talking about it for years now, who are still like, what the heck is this and why does it matter? So what exactly is it and why does it matter?
Sure. So Real ID is really an enhanced form of state-issued identification. And this was a law passed in the wake of 9/11. It was identified as a key vulnerability. And this is really all about augmenting and ensuring really elevating the document integrity of passengers nationwide. So this is really critical. This administration and the secretary believes this is critical to really ensuring the safety and the security of our skies.
Got it, which is so important. For those who have maybe not heeded the advice of getting a real ID and they potentially will show up to the airport today or moving forward without a real ID, what will they be met with at the TSA?
So every airport is, of course, different. Wait times are different, dynamics are different. But if you have a compliant form of ID, we are confident there will be no adverse impacts to you at the checkpoint. If you have a state-issued, non-compliant form of identification, you'll be okay. You'll get through. You may be subject to additional wait times or screening. So we really ask folks, or urge folks, if you don't have a real ID or sufficient alternative, if you have that non-compliant state-issued ID, to please cushion in some time for yourself when traveling via commercial air.
That's fair. And what are the other acceptable forms of ID aside from the real ID?
So the most common ones are passport, military ID card, a trusted traveler card like a global entry. For a fulsome list, for the full list, we do urge you to reach out to your local DMV or visit TSA.gov for more information in terms of what's a sufficient alternative.
Lovely. Deputy Stahl, is there anything else that you want to make sure that you communicate with folks this morning? I know that we had our Secretary of State on our show earlier this morning, and he was saying that there is this slight grace period and the fact that people can still get their real IDs tomorrow and beyond. It doesn't necessarily have to be today unless you plan to travel or enter federal buildings. But is there anything else that you want to make sure you communicate with folks?
Yeah, maybe two things. One, so to your point, enforcement begins tomorrow, so you can continue to get your real ID in the weeks ahead, and we encourage people to do so. Two, if you don't have a sufficient form of real ID, if you don't have a real ID or sufficient alternative, if you have that state non-compliant ID, you will be okay. You will be able to get through. But we do again caution that you may be subject to additional screening measures, additional time possibly at the airport. So please do plan ahead. And in the meantime, if you don't have your ID or real ID, please go out and do enroll as soon as you can.
Absolutely. Acting Deputy Administrator of the TSA, Adam Stahl, thank you so much for joining us this morning on this final day before this all goes into effect officially.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Okay.